Do you have this in your house? That means it's time for a change. So in this video, we're going to show you how to do that today. And you can look in the show description for the list of tools that you may need. And don't forget your safety glasses. Okay, I personally don't endorse any specific name brand or anything like that. These are just the ones that I use. And this is the Kita version, and it's the 10-year battery type. So it has a built-in lithium battery that's good for 10 years. And that chirping sound that you're hearing is it's at its end of life. So here's one that I have off the wall already. And so what we have to do is we have to remove that one first. And there's a little, they lock on there. So there's a little clip on the side right here. You have to push that in and then twist it at the same time. And on the one on the wall here, it's actually, the clip is broken. It's usually right here on the side, but the clip's broke. So I can easily just turn it like this and then pull it from the wall like that. And of course, this one's been a little cranky today. So if this is the model that has a changeable battery in it and you're getting that chirp sound, that's an indication of a low battery. So then you can just take your harness in the back here. There's a little plug in the back, squeeze the connector, unplug it. There'll be a little door on the back here. You could open the door up and replace the batteries, put it back in, and then put it back on the wall. But this particular one, we're going to have to change it because I can't change the battery. The battery's at end of life, and we need a brand new unit. And again, these will either be mounted on your wall or most times they're going to be on the ceiling of your house. And when you take it off the wall, don't be freaked out by the 3 wires because we'll get to that in a second. However, let's make sure the power's off first. So my little voltage sensor is indicating the power's on. You're going to want to go to your circuit breaker panel and turn off your breaker. Now, there's a good chance that it's not going to be labeled smoke alarms, but usually in modern homes, the smoke alarm circuits are wired on with a lighting circuit. So if it's in your hallway, look for hallway lights or bedroom lights because these are generally mounted right outside of your bedroom doors. In the older homes, in modern homes, they're actually in the bedrooms as well. So there's a good chance that it's going to be on probably with your bedroom lights. That's how I would do it. I'll check again. Power's off. Now I'm going to take my red Robertson or number 2 and I'm going to loosen up the mounting screws. And then it's practically coming off already. Turn it to there. Take this, discard it. Now you're thinking, I have 3 wires here. So how it works is we have our hot wire, power wire, we have our neutral, and then the third wire is our interconnecting wire to another smoke alarm. So you may have a junction in here that wires are coming in and wires are going out. Well, that's okay because you're still only going to attach them to the same wires. You don't have to open up any of those connections there. You just have to get this old wiring harness off because it's probably not going to be the same as your new one. So let's remove this now. Take off the old wire nuts. If your old detector was there for 10 years, your wire nuts may have got stretched out, so it's a good idea to get new wire nuts. If you remove your smoke alarm and you see that there is no red wire in there, that just means that this is just a single device and there's no other interconnecting means. So here's my new plug for my new smoke alarm. So if there's no red wire in the box, you can see there's a little cap on here. You can just leave that cap on there and connect your white to your white and your black to your black, and then you're ready to go. However, in this case here, this one is interconnected with several others. So you have to make sure that your new smoke alarm that you're putting in is compatible with the ones you already have. And there's a good chance if this one is already at its end of life, then your other ones probably are as well. So you're probably going to want to change all of them. In older homes, really older homes, going back about 30, 40 years, there's a good chance that you might only have 2. If it's a bungalow style home, you're going to have these in the hallway outside your bedrooms and then maybe one in the basement. In modern homes now, they're installing these in the bedroom as well. So you could possibly have 6 or more of these detectors. So in this case here, we do have the red wire. So I'm going to be removing that little cap. And we're going to replace that. And like I said before, if you don't have the red wire, it's not that big of a deal. You just leave it capped and shove it in the back. And that's the other thing too. They tin these wires here. This is stranded copper wire. And stranded wire and solid wire don't mix very well together. So what they do is they put, see if I can get it in here for you. They put a little bit of solder on the ends to make it a little harder. Now, we don't twist these together. At least I don't. That's my method. Because if I try to twist these on here like that, what's going to happen is this wire is just going to wrap around that wire. And that really doesn't make a great connection. So what I do is I'm just going to take it like this, put my two wires together like that. Hopefully you can see that well. And I take my wire nut and I'm going to let the wire nut do the twisting. And the reason why I recommend new wire nuts is because the old ones may have got stretched out and may not grab that wire very well. Now, once you see your installation start to twist like this here, then that's a good twist. Red to red, white to white. And you can see my insulation is starting to twist here like that. That's good. And then black to black. Give it a good twist. Once again, you can see it's starting to twist there. And then we're going to take these three, tuck them in the back of our box. And this is an installation that's already done. So your ground wire, your bond wire should already be connected in the back of the box. You don't have to connect that to your device. All right. And you're going to leave your plug stick out like that. And then you're going to get your new mounting plate. And even if this does look like your old mounting plate, change it anyways. You're going to see the difference in the coloration. So you're going to have a nice new smoke alarm with an ugly color plate. You don't want that. Let's get this in place. Turn it there. Red Robertson again, number 2. Tighten up. Don't crush these screws in. You don't want to break your plate. They just have to be on there tight. This is what it comes like out of the box. It has a dust cover on it, so you're going to remove the dust cover. Dust cover is gone. Now on the back of these, there's an activation switch right here. That activates the battery. Now, usually, once you install it on the base and twist it, it will activate. It usually turns that little thing. We got into the practice ourselves of just turning it switch ourselves. And you hear that little chirp right there. That turns it on. Then you take your plug in. The plug in can only go in one way. We're going to plug that in like that. I hope you can see that. Plug it in till it snaps in. Like that. And then it has to go in a certain position. You make sure it's flat all the way around and then give it a twist. And there it is mounted. Turn your power back on. You should see the green LED turn on here. It's hard to see in the daylight here, but after that, give it a little test to make sure it is functioning. And there you go. It should be good for another 10 years. If you got value from this video, would you please consider liking and subscribing? And don't forget to come back for more videos.